On June 8, 2001, Reading Phillies left-hander Adam Walker allowed a single to Altoona's Kevin Haverbush in the bottom of the first inning, then held the curve hitless the rest of the game in a 7-0 victory. But his one-hit shutout was merely a tune-up to his next outing.
As that next start for him is beginning, it's here at home, and I am thinking to myself, okay, he's got a consecutive batters faced without giving up a hit streak going here. Let's track it. So I just grabbed one of my business cards actually, and I put it down on the desk in front of me by my sound equipment, and I just started making little check marks, just little slashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, slash through it for the 5, and I'm going to keep track of what his consecutive streak was, just so we can, announce it. A little did I know that streak wasn't going to end that night. I was kind of making sort of big checks as time went on, and I realized I'm not going to have room. I started making them smaller.
Wasn't a hard thrower. A lefty, soft tossing guy, threw a changeup, got a lot of ground outs, and just was on top of his game. His control was pinpoint, and his confidence was sky high.
He was not a dominant guy. He didn't throw very hard, upper 80s, had a bit of a breaking ball and a changeup as most lefties do, but he had all kinds of deception. You just couldn't see the ball coming out of his hand.
It was evident that Walker was keeping New Haven hitters in the dark all night, as only 3 Ravens reached base the entire game. 2 on errors and 1 on a hit by pitch. When it was all said and done, Walker had staked his claim to the first 9-inning no-hitter in Reading Phillies history.
And he basically threw 2 no-hitters, except the previous game, the first batter he faced got that single, and then from there 2 straight games without allowing a hit. Just an incredible performance for a guy that wasn't blowing hitters away.
Compared it to Johnny Vandermeer, the guy who threw 2 no-hitters in the major leagues, a feat that's never been equaled, obviously, and will never be topped.
We had a young and up-and-coming writer named Chris Corman writing for our website at the time. Chris is now the sports editor at USA Today, and he had just done a feature on Walker after the near-miss no-hitter in Altoona, and he told him in that piece, he said, he goes, I really don't feel like I'm pitching my best yet. He goes, wait till my slider's not working. He said, when I find my slider, I think I can really end up being good. And Chris came up to the window after the press box and said, I guess he found his slider tonight.
This is maybe the best performance over a couple of starts by a Reading pitcher. He went 60 straight batters without allowing a hit.
He's just a guy who got hot and is really executing his pitches and put together back-to-back games, the likes of which we've never seen, in Reading Phillies history.
Almost as incredible as Walker's back-to-back masterpieces was the fact that he would never win another game, as the Phillies traded him to the Mets that July, and an elbow injury ended his professional career less than 2 years later. But for one stretch in June of 2001, Adam Walker produced one of Reading's finest golden moments.